Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Triangle BNI. My name is Mike Manning, and each week we bring you a success story from BNI. And if you're not familiar with BNI, it's Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle is Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill in kind of central North Carolina. Almost 30 chapters working on 700 members that meet each week to help each other grow their business. And our guest today, Marcella Stewart, Mary Kay Independent Senior Sales Director. Marcella, glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
So we're going to learn about Mary Kay. So guys, if you're listening, good presents to buy for the women in your life. So we're going to talk about how you can help us guys be a little bit smarter. Okay. So Marcella is a visitor host in RDO5. That is Triangle Business Builders. They meet Thursday mornings at 8:15 a.m. at Trolley Irish Pub in Briar Creek. And again, if you go to trianglebni.com, there's a link on there that says find a chapter. It'll show you when the chapters are, where they meet. Most of them are in the morning. There's some lunch ones. So whatever works for you, location, daytime, and place. And I know Marcella's in Triangle Business Builders. So obviously you're a morning person.
Yes.
Never a problem getting up, right?
No.
Entertaining people first thing in the morning, right? So we're coming to the end of 2018 here. How has the calendar year been for you?
2018, it's been a good year. Uh, Actually great if I think about because it's my first year finishing up national court of sharing for Mary Kay. I actually have done court of sale 6 times, but court of sharing, I'm finishing it for the first
And
time.
what is that?
That is when I share the business opportunity with 24 women who actually get their business up the ground and going.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
And she's been with Mary Kay since November 2003. So did you meet all of your goals for 2018?
No, it's still working on it.
Right.
And yeah, I did not meet all my goals for 2018. One of my big goals for 2018 was to finish Cadillac qualification by December 2018, which I'm having to move that date forward a couple of months into 2019 as well. Not quite finished yet. However, I'm waiting to pick up my 8th Mary Kay career car as any day now. Hendricks Automotive has the paperwork and they're waiting for the vehicle to arrive and I'll go pick it up. So that is my 8th Mary Kay career car in the past 15 years.
Well done. So what is the difference between the career car and the pink Cadillac that everybody knows about?
Oh my word. Okay, the career car encompasses all the Mary Kay cars. There are 3 levels of cars. As a consultant, I started my Mary Kay business actually, and as a consultant, I earned my first car just working about 10 to 12 hours a week. I was taking care of my dad. I took care of my dad for the last 9 years of his life. He had Parkinson's for 16 years, so I just worked my business around his schedule. So just earned my first career car as a consultant. So that's the first one is a smaller car, and then the next level up is the director car, and so I earned that car as well. And then the Cadillac is the next level up above that Premier Club car, which right now I'm a Premier Club sales director, which means I've earned the Premier Club, which is the 2019 Chevy Cruze, is what I'm waiting to take
Well done.
delivery of. Yes, and I'm excited. I know we'll get to this a little later, but 6 of those 8 cars have been earned through my BNI support and connection.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And that's one of the things we're going to get to. Thanks
Yes.
for starting with that.
Yeah.
We will get to that. And everybody knows the pink Cadillac. If
Yes.
you don't, you've been under some rock or lived in another country.
Well,
How special is that to get, and how many people qualify to get those?
oh my goodness. I don't want to tell you the wrong number of exactly the pink Cadillac, but Mary Kay has the largest fleet of career cars on the road. In fact, for uh, Aretha Franklin's funeral, there was over
Yes, I saw that.
150,000 pink Cadillacs, and you had to be a pink Cadillac driver in order to be part of that procession for her because to honor her for her song,
I
the
thought that
song
was neat,
Freeway of
yeah.
Love. Yeah, but what's different about the pink Cadillac, Mary Kay wanted all her sales directors in pink Cadillacs because when you are driving the pink Cadillac, that represents all of the lives that you have touched. whether the people that are in your unit that are earning extra income or those who you help develop into directors, as well as those that you're taking care of, as far as skincare, just pampering women. And it is the top of the top. It is what is recognized for Mary Kay. And so it's a larger footprint for the business. And that's why we want more pink Cadillacs on the road. And that's what people recognize
Oh, yeah.
as, yeah.
Yep. And
Mm.
we're gonna talk about, 'cause your business, there's 2 parts to it. There's actually selling the product and then getting people. How do you explain the people that work for you?
Sure. We're all independent business owners with the right to control our own business. So I'm a coach and a mentor. They don't work for me. They don't work for Mary Kay. That's why I was specific about saying independent senior sales director. So anybody that starts their Mary Kay business, they have to come in. They're sponsored in by someone. So when they come into our unit, then I'm the assigned coach to coach and mentor them for whatever their career goal is, whether they want to do a little bit, sell to make extra income for kids getting off for summer camp, or a child going to college, or a child that needs extra cleats or violin, or whatever it is that the family goal is, or just take a vacation for once. So that's that's what the independent sales force. And so my role is to coach and mentor them. As a senior sales director, that means I am looking for other women who want more and need more and willing to do the work. So what I do is teach them how to become a sales director if that's their choice. If they just want just a little pocket change, that's entirely up to them. My role is to coach them and mentor them and for whatever their goal is. And so I do weekly meetings where training sessions really so that we can come together. We encourage them. We recognize them for what they've done the prior week, and coach them, mentor them for success. So I'm not their boss, and I love the freedom and choice that they get to choose what they want to do, and I also get to choose what I want to do.
Wonderful, and we're gonna get into more in a little bit, the type of people that end up, work
Mm,
selling and
mhm.
being a Mary Kay. Are they all independent
Yes,
sales?
and yes, the
Okay,
sales force is all
okay,
independent. We do not work for Mary Kay Corporate. Mary Kay
okay.
Corporate has their own staff.
I
Yeah.
understand, and we're
Mhm.
gonna get into that.
Yes.
But in each, BNI meeting, there's a featured speaker, and depending on the size of your chapter, it's 5 or 10 minutes, and we always start with the introduction for the member bio sheet. So this is how we're gonna start it out with, again, our guest today is Marcella Stewart, Mary Kay Independent Senior Sales Director. The location and years in business for you?
Well, my current location is the major metropolis of Cedar Grove, North Carolina. I'm in Northwest Orange County. I know you didn't
I
expect that
love
coming.
that, I
Yes,
love
yes,
that.
yes, yes. My training center is in Durham, North Carolina. We lived in Durham when I started my Mary Kay business, just right off of Farrington Road area. But
Mhm.
my husband, due to job, restructuring and loss, he ended up he was at Moses Cone, and so we kind of was wanted to go halfway in between.
Okay,
So we're kind of out there on the farm.
alright. My second favorite question in all this is previous types of jobs, and I have a list of some
So
things you've done before.
sure.
We love going back to high school and before
Oh my
college and all
word.
that. Is there a most memorable job or the best story from a job you could tell us?
Well, I don't know. My very first job was washing cars at the age of 14 by hand in Nashville, Tennessee. I did several jobs in the summer. One of my favorite, I guess, fun job was working at the Children's Theater making clothes in the
Oh,
summer, making the costume for the Children's Theater in Nashville, Tennessee. Of course, I've worked the Burger King, Judy. I worked at Little Law Firm in high school. And then in college, I worked retail. I worked Dillard's. I was a department manager for Dillard's. I worked for Saks Fifth
in
Avenue.
college, you were a department manager? Very
For
impressive.
Dillard's. I worked for Saks Fifth Avenue. I worked in healthcare
Mhm.
outsourcing, which is the role that I was in for 18 years for two different companies, managing non-core services within healthcare, food and nutrition, environmental services, laundry and linen, negotiating their contracts.
Yeah, we're gonna talk
So
about that a little bit more, yep.
yeah,
Okay.
so those are yeah. And I
Washing
actually
cars by hand.
washing
What'd you
cars
make
by
back
hand.
then?
I don't even remember. Oh my word.
Who'd you work for? Was this a family
It was a
operation?
family
Okay,
operation. Yeah, it was the husband and wife. Little
okay.
yeah. Mostly the husband and the wife would bring us sandwiches for lunchtime, and she'll make egg salad
How
sandwich
good
or
were you
something.
washing cars?
Washing cars. Well, I washed them even when my hands, would curl up, but, that yeah, so till today, I do not wash my own car.
You've earned that right.
I take them over to the auto spa over on Maynard
There you
in
go.
Cary. They wash my car when I take it in.
You have
So,
earned that for
yes.
sure.
So
The next part of the bio sheet on the introduction, family information, your spouse.
I'm married to the hot and sexy on his tractor, Charles Stewart, MD. He's a neurologist. But right and then right now he's working with specialist on call. He's worked in the military. He was military 8 years served. Worked at Bethesda Naval Hospital.
Very nice.
He was a he also taught medical school at Duke. He was a faculty member there. He did 2 fellowships at Duke and also worked at the VA. So, and he's also been in private practice. So he's done a whole lot of
Yeah.
different stuff. So now we're farmers. Well, he's
Okay,
farmer.
yeah.
I'm
Okay.
Mary Kay. He's more farmer.
No pink
So
tractor on the
no
farm
pink
yet?
tractor.
Okay.
No, it's orange caboodles.
Okay. So
Yes.
I always ask people, how did you meet your spouse, and do you both tell the story the same way?
Oh my word. Well, recently, during Thanksgiving, somebody asked us that at the table. And so he said, well, pretty much, that's how I call it my Ruth and Boaz story, actually. I was taking care of my dad, and my dad's neurologist was moving and my dad needed a new neurologist. And the orthopedics, because my dad has severed his back, uh, recommended him, but said he wasn't taking any more patients because he was leaving to go to get his MBA and do disease management, just changing a little bit. And so Dr. Hooten called it in as a favor to him and scheduled the appointment. So that
Okay.
was my first time meeting him, and I had no clue or anything. So, um, but it was several months later after my dad, case was finished, that I got a call out of the blue from him to me out.
He
So,
knew when he saw
so
you walking in the all
yeah,
okay, all right. We like those stories because
yeah, so
it's funny what doors open, right? And how you
yes,
meet people. We
yeah.
like that. Children?
I have 6 bonus children. Those are the ones you get blessed with when you don't get
Mhm.
any stretch marks from yeah, and they'll have to go through you have to go through different you don't get through go th labor pains are a little different.
Different, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because some of them were going through, puberty the youngest was, like, 8 years old when we first got married, and so we've been married it'll be 16 years next week. So
Oh, congratulations.
yeah, so so teenage years was a bit
Oh, a lot
challenging.
of fun. Boys and
Yes.
girls, good mix?
Just 1 well, 5 girls and 1 boy. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, pray for us.
See, now s ha
But
I
we're out of that stage though,
okay,
re
but and
yeah.
here's my first thought anytime I hear somebody with daughters is I raised 2 boys, so I only had
Okay.
to pay for the rehearsal dinner. I can't
Okay.
imagine paying for multiple weddings. You might need to be a doctor with 5 daughters to pay for 5 daughters' weddings. Any
So
animals at the house, on the farm?
On the farm, we have 2 animals. We have Minnie and Dory. They are, chocolate labs. My husband adopted, them from the Orange County Animal Shelter back when they were, like, 6 months old back in September, and it was actually 3 of them, and he got the 3 girls, and Kia, most recently, Monday after Thanksgiving, she died, and so
Oh,
we had to, my husband took the remains over to the NC State veterinary for them to do an autopsy to try to determine what happened, and still it was inconclusive. They even did drew fluids and did complete toxicology report, and it was still. And so she was just a baby, just
hmm.
8 months old, and so still don't know what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, I was playing, and 2 hours later found her just,
Oh,
and the
no.
other 2 were just trying to nudge her and just sad. But
Yeah.
anyway, but so we still do have 2 that, they're kind of running around. We assume they're fine. So that
Well,
everything's
they got a
fine.
huge backyard to play with if Charles is
Yes.
a farmer, right?
Yeah. And then I had a cat for 15 years prior to, when we first got married, I had a cat. years ago, yeah. But we're out in the middle of we're on 54 acres.
Okay.
So,
Alright. You like living on 54 acres?
I love my husband. That's usually what I say. As you can tell, I'm a city girl.
You 2 wear different clothes every day,
Yeah.
don't you, right? Does he have the
He's
farmer
yep,
overalls?
yep. Well, not quite overalls, but jeans.
Yeah.
He does have
Okay.
jeans, yeah. And he's on the tractor, and so you can see him several times on the tractor.
What
Yeah.
is he growing there?
We've got hazelnut trees. We have a hazelnut orchard going. We
Oh,
have about
wow.
4,000 trees in the ground. Yeah, it's been in for about 5 years. No harvest yet, so but
Okay.
yeah,
Hazelnut
yeah, we
trees.
got
Well, that's a
hazelnut
first.
trees.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright. Yeah,
huh?
I like that.
Yeah.
Hobbies and activities of interest.
Hobbies and play a little. Well, I haven't played golf in ages, so I don't know if I still. We used to play golf together, and well, he fishes. My hobbies really is cooking, gourmet cooking. So, that was one of the negotiation tools to move me out to the farm. He said, "Well, you can have any kitchen you want." So we did.
Ooh.
He said, "But there is a but, got to kind of stay
Mhm.
within a budget." So, but anyway, but I enjoy cooking, and so I used to. One of my when I was a food service director for Airmark at one point, we had chefs, and actually when I did my MBA, I did 3 credit hours at Oxford, England, and my topic of my paper was the cultural dimension of marketing in the new European Union. So I spent time with a chef in Barcelona, Spain, when there
Ooh.
was a chef exchange. He stayed at my home when they came here to do that, and so I've always been fascinated with cooking. One of my favorite teachers in school was Mrs. Boyce, and God rest her soul, at John Trotwood Moore. She was my home ec teacher. Mrs. Boyson was my home ec teacher, and that's kind of how I got really fascinated with food and making it look pretty. And doing sausage pinwheels was the first item that actually she taught us to make.
What is
So
your
that was fun.
specialty now? What does the family ask you to make?
Oh, goodness gracious. Different things, apple dumplings, peach cobbler, crawfish etouffee. I'm from Nigeria originally, so I make Nigerian food. So I'm kind of a blend of different cultures. The chef taught me how to make a mean paella. So that's one of the things. For
All right.
Father's Day, usually I'll do paella, and we'll make it special with put lobsters and different, just make it a feast. So usually Father's Day, at least once a year, make a really big paella. So I have a big 16-inch flat paella pan.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and
he's
he's
happy, right?
yes, yeah. So yep, and I can make, he's a country boy at heart. He's the son of a Baptist preacher raised on a 50-acre farm, and
Okay. That
yeah,
explains the 54 acre part. Okay.
yes, yes, and he was the 13th of 24 kids, and that's a whole
24?
one mom and one dad, only one set of twins.
What's the
So
age difference from oldest to youngest?
30 is 30
And
years.
where is he in the pecking order?
Number 13,
Oh, that's right. You
middle.
said that.
Yeah, number
13. Oh, he's almost
13.
right in the middle. Yeah.
Almost right in the middle, yeah. So he loves country food, so I do, he, collard greens, so I do a wide range of foods. So
So, okay, let's do some math here for a
so
family reunion with kids, grandkids, cousins, his family. Do you
yeah.
remember everybody's names, or are you just good with faces?
Well, I remember names, of people that I interact with a lot, and, yeah, most of the names, with the last one, I think we had about 179. There is a family reunion every 2 years. We just had one in 2018, and then in 2020, it'll be back at the home, um, where they started from in Louisiana.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Wow, I bet that's neat.
yeah,
100
so
plus? Ugh. And how
yeah,
big's your family? Not
w
100 plus?
no, not 100 plus. Well, maybe extended, I don't know,
Okay,
y'all,
yeah.
yeah, so but anyway.
So your burning desire is to what?
Well, my dad was in medicine, and when he went back to Nigeria, he had his own clinic there, and he would take care of the people in the village. That was his heart, to do that. So, um, they a lot of them don't get a chance to go to the city. So if the medicine is not available there, and then with all of the political issues and uprising, and just the oil money not being, they took the farms from the people who owned it because of the oil, but then those people, they didn't give them their rightful. money, and also the children from there don't have proper education. So it's a lot of poverty in that area, even though Nigeria is one of the richest in natural resources. The
Mm,
people who live there are impoverished because of the corruption and all the different things. And so there's a lot of bright, highly into people who really do want to earn an honest day's work, but they need training. A lot of the kids in school don't have books or proper pencils, utensils, um, instruments. And in Nigeria, well, most of those cultures, um, African countries, anything beyond elementary school you have to pay. It's not like free
really?
education here. Yes. What we consider uh, high school here is secondary school in Nigeria, and you do have school fees and you have boarding fees. And so if you don't come from a family with means or have resources, it doesn't matter how smart you are, you don't get to go.
Wow.
So scholarships, scholarships from personal people who see
Okay.
who see someone who is, and yeah.
So is that part of your burning desire is to help in
Yeah,
that?
to help that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
Very nice.
yeah.
The key to your success.
Just knowing that, failure is not an option. Yeah, and with God's support, everything is possible. So when you asked me how early, am I an early person because I go to the morning group. When I was in graduate school at Wake Forest, actually, I used to get up like 4 o'clock in the morning to study before I went to work. And then I went to school on the weekend with my. So I worked a full time job. I was managing two departments and working on my MBA at the same time. And so yeah, so I got up pretty early in the
Okay.
morning. And actually and at Wake Forest, one of our teams, we were assigned the direct sales industry, and we presented on the direct sales industry model, and Mary Kay and I was, laughed at the pink Cadillac, and here I am. And maybe that's what last laugh is on me. The teacher said, one day somebody in here is going to be doing that. I said, that's the last thing I've ever do. So never say never, because you never know.
There you go.
Yeah.
We
So,
like
but
that.
anyway.
And something no one knows about you.
Oh my word, I don't know.
What are a couple you've used in your chapter recently?
Um, that I started working working at 14, that I was on my own at the age of 16.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that was my last 10-minute I think I shared that one. So,
Very cool.
yeah. When
So
my
where was you talked about Wake Forest for your graduate degree. Where was your undergraduate?
Memphis State University,
Okay.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Because
Yeah.
you're from Nashville, right? I'm
Yeah.
a Tennessee grad, so I'm a big fan
Tennessee
of the Vols.
grad.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, from Nigeria, we relocated. Well, my first entree into the US was Brockport, New York.
So you were born in Nigeria.
Born in Nigeria. My mom died when I was 7. I lived with my grandmother after that. My dad came to the US and he remarried in the US and then came back and got me a few years later. So,
Do you have in the relationship with your grandmother strong?
yes, that's who raised me.
Love
Yeah.
the stories
Yeah.
because you got the straight truth from her, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no need to guess like, "Wow,
Mhm.
is she really upset with me?" Or but
Oh
yeah,
no, you
grandmothers
shoot
are yep.
something flying across, across the room.
And what did she do? What was her background growing up or anything like
Well,
that?
she actually, my maternal grandfather had passed away, so she was a widow, and she had 2 kids, my mom and my uncle, and so she raised them by herself, and she even took in a couple other orphan boys that she
Wow.
helped raise, and, because, she helped them with getting married and all that kinda stuff and getting the proper wife for them. But, she sold fish. She sold, smoked fish, smoked shrimp. She would go to the market to buy that because Nigeria is right on the coast,
Mhm.
and so she buy that, and that's what she sold as her business. And she rode a bicycle. She put everything on the bicycle, and she rode the bicycle. And then my grandfather left her, the land, because he had a lot of land. So she also farmed the land.
Wow.
So she farmed.
There's your role model right there, huh?
Yes, worked even if she was rubbing her knees because it was hurting, she would still go to the farm and go to work, and yeah,
Love that
and just add
generation's
yeah.
work ethic, yeah.
Mhm.
Very
Very
nice.
strong. Yeah.
All right, we like that a lot. Those are good
Yeah.
stories that we enjoy hearing about, and that's what
Yeah.
we pride the show on is stories
Yeah.
about not only with BNI, but kind of how we got here and who we
Yeah.
are. So talking about BNI, literally, when was the first time you ever heard BNI?
First time I ever heard BNI was I met someone at a networking event that asked me about BNI and invited me to BNI, and so at that time, it was, at, um, off of, uh, Kildare Farms in Kilmaine. It was that chapter in Cary. They met at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Beautiful.
And so I went to visit. I visited a couple of times and I joined that chapter. I think at that time it was like right on cusp of 40, was like 38 or 39 members that they met.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what's now the Remax building, right on the corner of Kildare
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yep.
But it was on the cafe was the Pisacani's family, Ralph Pisacani, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, owned that. So that was my first entree to BNI, and that led me to earning my next car. My best referral partner in there was Matt Allen, who at that time owned Cartridge World on Harrison. He was from Red Top, background, and during and then started that. And so, and basically after he heard my first 10-minute presentation, we scheduled a 1-to-1, and so we went and met, and he said, "Well, how can I help you?" And so, "Who are you looking for?" And I said, "People in small offices, ladies, offices with 3 or more ladies." And he said, "Well, I have a lot of those. Let's go through the list of who I have that comes in to buy cartridges." And he said, so he picked out 30 of the people that he had over a database of like 500,
Wow.
but was 30 of them that he was friends with, or, had a good relationship that he could refer them and to me. And that's how, I helped finish my next car was from he gave me 30 referrals. And one of those people on that referral, after she did a party, became a consultant. She worked for a pharmaceutical company. And so she just worked part-time with her business at that time. And one of the other people from that group was Dr. Susan Durham with Doctor's Eye Vision. And so when I needed eyeglasses, then I went to her. And so she's still my ophthalmologist till today.
It's funny with
So
BNI, and we try to for people who are not aware of
so
BNI, it's seat specific. So the beauty, of joining a BNI chapter is you're the only person in your industry in that chapter, so when your fellow members like, know, and trust you, then that's who they send their referrals to, and I always love hearing stories. Sometimes you join a chapter and you don't know who that referral partner would be,
mhm.
and Mary Kay and Cartridge
Were
Toner
doing it
would not have put those 2 together.
together.
But it would make sense
So,
because he's going in and that's who he's seeing,
mhm.
but that came through from a one-to-one, didn't it?
Came through from a 1-to-1. Yeah.
Huh, didn't see that one coming, so
No.
had you visited other chapters before you decided to join that one?
No, once I visited that one, I just decided to join that one. Now, later on, I would visit other chapters, and also, then, my goodness, it was back in 2007 was when the economy started to go
Mhm.
south, and yeah, my husband, was chief medical officer in the park, and they called him on the Wednesday tell him position was eliminated and still held him to a 2-year non-compete. But anyway, so we thought we were gonna be relocating and moving from the area, and so I did not renew my membership at that time. And then later on, it turned out that, he was coming back, staying in the Durham area, so then I joined another BNI chapter in Durham. That was where I met John DeHart with Victorian Finance
Okay.
because he was in that group. And so I joined that group and I was a member of that group. Then he got the position out more towards the western part of the state. And again, we thought we were moving, so I didn't renew. But long story short, so I was a part of that group as well. And then, Steve Hand reached out to me when they were looking to start a chapter in the Chapel Hill area. And because at that point, we had decided to go ahead and build on the farm, then I decided, so I helped start that chapter from the core till we launched it. And so in that chapter, I was in different roles. I was president, I was vice president, so I was membership. So I've worked in all the different roles within BNI. And so now I'm part of the Triangle Business
And so
Builders.
what got you to this chapter that meets at Trolley?
that meet at Trolleys. Well, the Chapel Hill group, some of the members were wanting to change the dates of the meeting, and I do my Mary Kay meeting where I work with my consultants and my unit on Tuesday nights, and so it was non-negotiable for me. They were, you know, talking about switching it around and not really um, stable in terms of the dates, and so I decided. So now how I got to Trolleys was, I was subbing for Carol Smith with Alcova Mortgage.
Yep.
So I went and subbed for her. Then I resigned my position at the other BNI, and so then I applied for at this location because it's all actually more central for me, being in um, the Bride Creek area. My ophthalmologist in Dr. Susan Durham's office is now in Bride Creek, just down the street from there. So, and for me, since I live in such a large metropolis in Cedar Grove, I basically will drive for a party anywhere within 2 hours. So once a month, I do an event in Charlotte with a team of other Mary Kay sales directors. So I always look for referrals in Charlotte of people who look, in that area as well. And I'd go to Fayetteville at least once or twice a month, Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I basically look on the map, a 2-hour radius of there. I'm fine. I'll drive there. I'll drive up to DC area or Virginia. If it's a party is big enough, make it worth my while, I'll drive up there.
Okay.
So,
And speaking of your chapter, Matt Yablonowski's been on the show before,
Oh,
so
great.
we're
Yes.
familiar with your chapter.
Yeah.
Mary Kay, how did that come about?
Well, it was, as I said, I was not even, I said I would never do Mary Kay and do anything like Mary Kay. But what happened was, my last position. Well, I did get the big promotion after I finished my MBA. And so I was a district manager with 314 employees, 30 of whom were managers, $20 million annual volume, company car, bonus options, the whole nine
Hey, let me
yards.
stop you right there. Let's go through some of these numbers so people
Okay.
can understand. A department $20 million budget, 300 plus employees, 30 managers across 5 locations. All right, you kind of have to have your stuff together.
Yeah.
Be a little bit organized to pull that off, right?
And have some great people.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Yes.
Always. Okay, so you're doing that.
Doing that.
And that's what you had gone to school for.
Yes,
And that's what you
to
wanted to focus on, right?
Yes. So it was a promotion from what I was doing before. So that year we achieved target. So my cash bonus, $16,900 net of taxes, direct deposit into my account. I'm thinking everything is good. Now the person that brought me into Fairmark was retiring, and he encouraged me to continue, to finish my MBA, and so while he was still there, and then the new boss over at the my new location where I went to after the fiscal year end, and we had done all of this, and glowing letter from the president, and the vice president of the group terminated me. So welcome to corporate America. So it doesn't matter your socioeconomic level or educational level, life happens to everybody. That's why I said you always need a plan B, even if it's just, just something as a backup. And I didn't have a plan B because I put all my eggs in that one basket. That's why I thought I was going to retire from there. But anyway, so my husband told me, take a couple of weeks off, figure out what you're going to do, So since I love cooking, he thought, well, you could do a restaurant. I said, no. I love, and that's a
Is that your escape?
Yes, it's a hobby.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, but my oldest bonus daughter has been in Mary Kay now for about probably 17 years, I think. And at that time, she had been in a couple of years, and she's a neonatal nurse by background, and so she was moving up in the business and needed one more. So I joined her team just to help her move up. And I said, honey, I'm not going to be doing this long term, just kind of helping you out while I'm looking for a real job. So I never really understood the full marketing plan, of Mary Kay until, so then I came in just to help her out. And then, of course, having the background with the MBA, I put everything on an Excel spreadsheet to make the decision in terms of how I was going to start the business. And so that's what I did. I started with the full store. And then my retail background, Saks, I kind of had that in mind in terms of my decision to do that. And that was November 14th when I started. And so it was just right before Christmas. And so I did the Christmas baskets, the gift sets. I would take those with me out and about, and that's kind of how I launched the business. And then,
Was it a mix of the product plus the business aspect of obviously, you've run
yes,
something far larger than what you're doing now, but was it
yeah.
a good mix of that drew you to it?
No, it was just helping her really, but what kept me going with when I attended career conference, which is um the when Mary Kay sends the corporate staff out into the field, and they actually do it's a 1.5 day training, and it was in Charlotte. And so one of the mentors that where I was working with locally in Durham encouraged me to attend. He said, I know you're not looking at this as a business, but I would suggest that you at least attend just to get a little bit more familiar. And I did. And the number one speaker that year was Pat Fortenberry, who is now retired from Mary Kay. She was the number one. Pat has earned over $9 million in commissions and bonuses over her 30-year Mary Kay career. And in retirement, she's earning $42,000 per month, 6.5 million. Because what Mary Kay does is when you retire, they take your last 5 years, pick out the top, average it, and pay you 60% for the next 15 years. Fully funded. You don't pay a
Wow.
penny into it. So I saw, and she was very poised, very regal, this elegant woman up there. And I was like, okay, so then this is a real business. And so when she came down, and so I wanted to introduce myself, I did go up and meet her. And I said, I know you don't know who I am, but they said I'm in your family line. I don't know what all that means. And she asked, well, who's your director? And I told her, she said, yeah, you're part of Carly's group. And Carly was my national sales director till she retired. And she earned over $7 million in her Mary Kay career. And in retirement, about 19,000 per month. She's in Wilmington, North Carolina as well. And she, she always wanted to be a mom, but she worked retail management for years until she had the kids. So, but anyway, so that's when I saw the real potential was when I met Pat Fortenberry at a career conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then I took it more seriously. Then I had one team member before then, but I really then started proactively looking for other sharp professional women who would like to join my team.
How
And
tough of a challenge is that to identify somebody? And people work at different levels, either
mhm,
really, really part-time or like you,
yeah.
full-time all in.
Well, I look for women of character and integrity who because I don't some things you can't I just have the 6 things I look for, well, they have to be of legal age, 18 and above, but my sweet spot is about 21 to 27,
Okay.
above that. And then of course I started, when I'm not gonna say after I've been in a career for 15 years. Yeah.
We're good
But
with that.
anyway,
We're good
we're
with
good
that.
with that. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, one of my team members was a teacher who had just had her first child, and she wanted to be home with that child. She didn't want to go back, and she was with me for a little bit, and now, she hadn't been in the business for a while. And people come and go because it really is a volunteer army. Some people leave, some people come back. So I always keep the door open.
Is there a
Some
common denominator amongst the people that are independent, are in Mary Kay independent salespeople? Any kind of background? They're just looking for a side hustle. They're part of the country. Is there any kind of
No, just looking for a side hustle. If they enjoy the product, they use the product, that's always a plus because people ask, "What do you use?" You know what I mean?
oh,
So,
okay. Huh.
yeah, they'll ask what you use. And so there's no, there's all age group. This is not your grandmama's Mary Kay anymore. Mary Kay's been around since 1963.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tried and true. It's debt free. It's a solid company. They just built a over $1 million brand new manufacturing center. And we manufacture our own product in a state of the art FDA approved plant. But also, when I started, I mean, things were different, and now technology is all different. There's Instagram, there's Facebook, and Mary Kay is ever evolving. When it comes to the principles of the company, they're solid as a rock. But when it comes to, like changes, like, trends, they're always evolving. They just revamped our whole website and our
Okay.
whole
And
yeah.
that were you on social media? How long are you on full social media full time to promote Mary Kay?
I am. Well, I have a Facebook page, and I recently just started a VIP page, but I have an Instagram account. I don't use my Instagram, but other people use it
Mhm.
far more than I do.
It makes
I'm
sense,
not
it's
a
very
techie.
visual, yeah.
Yes, I'm not as, um, I'm a little bit more technologically married. My husband is actually the computer person.
We'll have him send out a
So,
couple things every day
yeah,
when he
he
gets off
doesn't
the
do
tractor,
Mary
takes
Kay.
a break, right?
Yeah, he's not gonna do Mary Kay. Yeah, that's, but anyway, yeah. So but it's ever evolving. We One of the things that sets Mary Kay apart, we compare to the prestige brand at a fraction of the price because we don't have the overhead. And in the U.S., there are about 1,300 chemicals that are no, there's 13 chemicals that are not allowed in cosmetics that
Mhm.
are banned. In the European Union, it's 1,300.
Really?
Yeah, it's more
Okay,
stringent.
yeah.
Stringent. Mary Kay adheres to the European Union standards.
Okay, right.
So yeah, so we're the price point is going to be different than your Walmart and Target and those
Mhm.
kind of people, but it's high quality product at
Mm.
a fraction of the price, and so
So when you got in, what's the first thing somebody new into Mary Kay does to get it started?
well, you decide whether or not you want to have product on hand, which because of my retail background, I know when you have the product on hand, then you sell more. People pick up things, from you easier. And if you did a party and you have product on hand, people are going to take it home with them. And so, it's said in that Mary Kay makes it an option. They said you have the option to do that, but they give you a lot of free product. You can get over $1,000 in free product depending on, how
Mm.
much you start off with because you're gonna do better, It's kinda like, okay, I'm gonna become, um, a dentist, but I'll wait to see who comes in before, I decide which equipment I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work that way. You need to be set up and ready to go.
What do you remember your first party you threw?
Yes, I did a party at my house, and I invited a whole lot of people, and it was my 2 next door neighbors that came. So
Okay, did they buy anything?
yes, they did $76.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I
alright.
mean $76, so
Was your next party better?
yes, yes, my highest party has been, like, over $1,000 in one party. I've had a
Very nice.
$1,200 party. Yeah, in 2 hours, sold $1,200. So we
You
make 50% of so we buy for $1, sell for $2, so that was like a
Oh, okay.
600. It's the
Oh,
highest, yeah.
okay, right. Can you, or what is the most common product that people buy? Is there
The skincare,
Okay.
that's like the foundation of the pro is the Mary we have a brand new Miracle Set 3D, which is, 3D stands for to defend, against free radicals, and it has double the antioxidant and it delays the signs of aging, and it delivers results in 4 weeks, where our old Miracle Set, it took like 12 weeks, now it is 4 weeks, and so it's accelerated. So that was launched in May 12th, which was would have been Mary Kay's 100th birthday, sold over 1,000,000 units in by July.
and you brought a box with you. I know tough to see on the camera here, but
Yeah,
what is this box and what's in it?
this box is a little fun. It's satin hands, pomegranate for the winter, and then satin
Okay.
lips, and then it has a powerful pink lipstick
You can hold that up. Yeah, go ahead
in
and hold
that
that
little
up. Yep.
box there. So it's a fun, thing that
Mhm,
can, yeah. And so the powerful pink lipstick, the Mary Kay Ash Charitable Foundation
mhm.
was established for eradication of cancers that impact women and ending domestic violence. And powerful pink, for everyone that was sold, $1 was donated to for ending domestic violence for that cause. And so therefore I used it, as one of the items in there. So I do different gift baskets and different gift sets.
Okay.
And so the guys in my BNI group really do support me. I delivered several items yesterday at our BNI group, and one that didn't get to make it yesterday already emailed me and asked if we could meet at Briar Creek tomorrow so can get the package for his wife. I did like a full set of roller bags for the wives, and I had this, and I also purchased Christmas cards. I already have his Christmas card, so I just hand it to him so that he'll have. And I didn't want to deliver it to his house because I didn't want his wife to know
Yep.
what she was in.
So
So,
in Triangle BNI, and we recommend you
so
go to trianglebni.com and learn more about the different chapters and all the members in BNI. Give the office a call, 919 465-1667. Talk to Steve or Mary or Brenda. They'd be more than happy to help you out. And in Triangle BNI, there's about 30 chapters, almost 700 members. Marcella, there's not many Mary Kay people, which is nice. So you can go visit pretty much any
Mhm.
chapter you want. How, once you joined any of your chapters, how did they start promoting you? Because sometimes you don't, and again, let me speak from a
Mhm.
guy standpoint here. It's not something you walk up to a lady and say, we don't start talking, makeup and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So how are they promoting you and selling you? And more importantly, what can we guys do to help somebody like you sell some product?
Well, first, what I did was in my group is help them help educate the guys in terms of what I'm looking for. And when I did my 10-minute presentation, I gave every person in the room a little gift bag with a hand cream and a $20 gift card to give that to some, who do you know that deserves some pampering? To give that away because then when they sit down with me, the only way they redeem it is when they sit down with me to do a facial so they get to learn more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a great a way to do that. The gift sets are great ways. If you're looking, if you're shopping and you need something for Christmas, for birthdays, for anniversaries, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, because usually, I'll put my business card in there. You may not know what to do, but your wife, your mom, your daughter, somebody, would know that. Um, about Mary Kay. And so that's a great way to get my name out there. Referrals to small offices. Because a lot of time sometimes when you have people, young ladies graduating from college, you're going to their first job. Mary Kay is a great way to teach them how to look professional going into the job role because they might wear makeup, they might love fun makeup, but you don't want they need to tone it down a bit if they were big,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, make it more professional. And I guess I'm back from the day of John Malloy's Dress for Success, learning so tips. And with my retail background, we also do, how to dress for success and things like that. So we teach those. So I do events at least once a month. And so I will ask, hey, I'm doing this event. Do you know any ladies that would love to come out for a fun girls' night out? Because you don't want to tell a woman, oh, you need makeup.
Yeah, that's not,
No.
yeah,
And so
not
I
good for
say
us to hear.
pampering because it's more
Okay.
than makeup.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more 80% of my product. Like the only thing makeup in there is the lipstick. 80% of my product is skincare. We have from head to toe. The roll-up bags I was doing was had the satin hands in one pocket, the satin lips, the satin body, and then it had the card in there, and I can write out what you might want to say, or I picked up Christmas cards for them to just write their name and put it in that final pocket. I think the Christmas card I picked up was, my best Christmas gift is you. I
Oh,
just
very
want you
nice.
pampered from head to toe.
What is the history of pink?
Of pink. Mary Kay, when she started the company in 1963, she chose pink because back then the bathrooms were gray or drab color. Just a little touch of pink looked
Okay.
like it popped popped it a little bit, and she started with. She worked in direct sales for 25 years, and she would train the guys that would become her supervisor, and they just told her that they had families, but yet she was a single parent with 3 kids herself. And that's how she supported them was direct sales.
Oh,
So
wow.
she took her so when she retired, people said, well, what, so she wrote a book of the things that she would do differently if she had her own company. And that became the framework of what we do today. And so they told her, well, why don't you start her own? So she started her own company, but the lawyers told her it wouldn't work. The accountant said it wouldn't work, but so they wouldn't loan her any money. So she took her life savings of $5,000, and her sons helped her, get started. And so then that's how she got
And
started.
that's how great I love those
Yeah.
stories of how small businesses get started, and at the time, it was small business, not quite
Yeah.
a
It
small
was
business now. Yeah.
$5,000 of her life savings, and today's in excess of $4 billion wholesale in 40 different markets because it is international. She started in Texas, but now it is a worldwide company
Very
with
nice.
over. Mhm.
We're talking with Marcella Stewart, independent senior sales director for Mary Kay. So when you are doing your 30-second or 45-second talk to your chapter or any
Uh-huh.
chapter, who are you telling us, short of any woman,
Yes.
who are you telling is your ideal client?
My ideal client is
For let's start do part 2 parts. For product, who's your ideal client? Just for you to sell product to, who would be your ideal client?
my ideal client for product is men and women, because we do have men's product
Mhm.
as well, and then men buy gifts, and so men that are looking for gift ideas are great referrals
You're a
for
big
me.
help to people
Yes,
like me. So
yes, yes, and then ladies that are, willing to try the product, like this month, on the by the 31st of the month, Mary Kay is doing a special New York trip, so when they sit down and do a facial with us, yesterday I did a part it was a lunch and learn over at, College Hunks Hall in Junction. It
Yeah.
was 3
Steve
ladies,
Roper?
Steve Roper.
Oh, we like
And
Steve,
so
yeah.
those ladies are gonna post it on the Mary Kay Instagram page and tag me, and they're gonna get entered. And so Mary Kay is gonna select 5 winners across the country,
Alright.
2 round trip tickets to New York City and $1,000 spending. And if they win, I win.
Good luck with that.
But anyway, so that's, anybody that's willing to try the product, I would love for them to try it and just give me their opinion. So
Alright.
that's who I look for on the product end.
So where can people go? What's your website that they could go to find out what you sell and more importantly, buy from you?
Is www.marykay.com/Marcella Stewart. Just my full name, Marcella Stewart, Stewart.
Alright, so your goal to have a pink Cadillac by February 1, March 1?
To earn it by February
Alright.
February 28th.
Okay,
To
so
earn it. To
please
earn
go
it
out and
by
buy some more
then.
products so we
Yeah.
can help Marcella get her first pink Cadillac.
Oh, host a party. Call me to host a party. Just try it. You can always try it for free.
A
So
post-holiday party, what better way? Because
yes.
everybody's got everything planned already, but
Yes, that's
post-holiday, relax, get pampered.
yes.
Love that's an easy sales word for
Yeah.
people like me to
Post
use is pampering.
pampering.
Yeah,
Yes.
because makeup, they're not gonna listen to me on that, but, "Hey,
No.
do you wanna be pampered?" I
Yeah.
like that.
New year, new you portfolios coming up for January
I
is
like that.
great way. Yeah.
So your goal now for 2019 obviously is to get the pink Cadillac. What
Yes.
else? What other
Once
goals have you set?
So doing step by step. Once I finish the pink Cadillac, in the process, I'm looking for 20 women who want to become directors like I am. So any woman, but a lot of times they may come in just to be part time, but they may know someone else who wants more. And so my goal is to recruit those women that are wanting to come in and become sales directors, because then my 2020 goal is to become a national sales director.
Alright.
And you have to have 20 women that are directors in your group.
And those 20 women, once you look back, they're gonna come from everywhere, aren't they?
Correct.
Because you really can't pigeonhole
No.
who's gonna want to sell, who's going to come in at that level, right?
Exactly. I've known sister sales directors that were physicists, that are nuclear physics, all different backgrounds.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then also one of your goal parts, so the product people are gonna buy for you, the money is gonna help with your building the healthcare in your hometown in Nigeria, right?
Well, my retirement plan is what I'm going to use for building that, because
Okay.
that's going to be more.
Alright. So they need to buy a lot of product from you so you can retire happily.
So I can
And then
move to that
right.
national sales director role, and then I'm going to take my
And
retirement.
that money will go back into that.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's a
Because one
great
of the
story.
nationals, she's, was in a different area, but for her church, they sponsored a group in Uganda. And so that's what she did with her retirement. Mary Kay retirement money is once a quarter, 4 times a year, she goes out there to work with them. And she did it in conjunction with her church.
So looking back on your start date in 2003, at what time did you have that aha moment that I think this is gonna work?
My goodness. About a year later, but close
Okay.
to a year later.
That's not bad that
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
What made that? What happened? Or what started to happen?
Well, okay, so I earned my career car, and then a month later became a sales director,
Okay.
just from the momentum of that. Yeah, so and then I that happened, and then, 5 months later, I earned the second car. And I was just having fun. I didn't even realize I had earned the second car. Now, the first one, I was strategically working on.
Okay.
The first one I was, then the second one, it's just the byproduct of all the fun and the parties and the activity level. that propelled me to that. And so then I just stuck with it from then on.
That's a nice phone call to get. "Oh, by the way, Marcella, you earned another car."
Actually, what happened was I was working on the Cadillac, and so, one of my sister sales directors called and said, "Hey, Cece, how'd you finish out?" And I said, "Well, I didn't finish the Cadillac. I'm going to the post office." She said, "Well, pull up your report." I said, "I don't even know. What are you talking about?" And she's been in Mary Kay longer than I have. My sister sales director, Jane Seibert. I call her my twin sissy. But anyway, she's blonde and I'm not. But we're twins. We're separated at birth. But anyway, and my senior was actually out of the country. They were in Puerto Vallarta, so I couldn't call and ask her. And so she said, "Well, look at you." So she told me where to go for the report because she used to work on Wall Street, and Jane, and so now, she's she's a numbers girl. And so I went in there and I looked and she said, "Well, go to this page." Oh, I said, "Okay." She said, "What does it say?" I said, "Well, it says Grand Prix WON. What does that mean?" She said, "What does it spell?" I said, "I won a car. I won a Grand Prix." So even if you don't know that you won a car, Mary Kay will send you the email and let you know that you earned a car. And so you get to pick out whether you want the cash or whether you want the car. So you have two options. You can have the cash compensation or they can, yeah.
A nice decision to make,
Nice
isn't it?
decision to make. So, yeah.
Very good. Well done.
So that was the trigger point.
Okay, I like that. So if you'll go to trianglebni.com and click on find a chapter and see which one you'd like to go visit. If you or somebody you know is starting a business or wanting to grow a business, we recommend you go to trianglebni.com, go visit a chapter. You meet wonderful people like Marcella. We've had a blast having you on the show today and hearing your story. But those are the type of people in BNI, all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds of things they bring to the table to help you grow your business. And we will see you next week on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.